Pане Руслан.
Hello, Mr. Speaker. Hello. So we will have a chance to talk to international reporters, but firstly, I would like to invite you to tell about today's meeting of Ukrainian Parliament. Yes, today we had a session of the Ukrainian Parliament, and we've and all the draft laws which were being heard were about the different aspects of martial law, the economy, and what are the rules for this martial law. So this 21 draft law adopted today is aimed to regulate the life and how life must happen during the martial law. In terms of the procedure, first of all, I want to say thanks to all the leaders of factions and groups, because all the factions came together. All the decisions were taken by the constitutional majority, which is 334, maybe 340 voices. So it was unanimous voting for all the decisions happening and made today. Firstly, we've heard the extension of the martial law for 30 more days. We've endorsed the presidential decree to extend martial law for 30 more days. Besides that, we have adopted a set of economic laws. Audio is intermittent. So the set of laws which would help us fill in the budget of the country. And one of important draft laws which has been announced by President Zelensky, that was the draft law on petroleum product tax. So we have removed the excise tax and VAT from fuel, and this would help us reduce the price of fuel in the country. Besides that, today we have voted for a very important draft law about the differentiated inaudible. So for the period of the martial law, the profits, the extreme profits of the natural gas providers, there would be increased tax rates, and these taxes would go to support the Ukrainian army. Also, we've adopted a few laws to support the military, the police, and the state border guard service. And also these laws cover education in this period, environmental protection during martial law, also about the regulation of employment relationship in this period, and a few other aspects. So today we have adopted a big set of laws which would regulate the life of Ukrainians during martial law. This was the focus of attention of the Parliament today. And despite the fact that some members of Parliament came to the session right from the front line, or from the territorial defense forces, or they were distributing humanitarian aid, but still there were slightly over 340 members of Parliament who took part in this voting, which shows that the Parliament is here working for people. Me, as the Speaker of Parliament, I am always on my job, and we are doing everything needed according to all the tasks set by the President, because today we have to show unity, and we have to show that we are able to make complicated decisions in this complicated time. This, in brief, is what happened today in the Parliament. Mr. Speaker, many reporters today have been noting this very unique political consolidation in Ukraine. of course, the backdrop of this barbaric aggression of the Russian Federation. How would you describe the situation in the parliament today? What are the emotions and how is the work going on with your colleagues? No, I want to say that today we've been seeing, probably for the first time, a unique situation. The parliament has come together. Throughout these sessions, we've been arranging and we have essentially the consensus procedure now in the preparation. So we work for several days to prepare the draft laws, and then essentially it's almost unanimous voting. You can see that each draft law takes the constitutional majority of the votes. This is a unique case when people set aside all the differences, when all the politicians come together to work for the people of Ukraine. All of us, the parliament, the president, we all work as a clockwork mechanism. This is a unique phenomenon indeed. Maybe later it will be studied by political scientists, but this is a unique case when under fire of the enemy, and under these airstrikes, Ukrainian society is forged into Ukrainian nation. This has to be clear, because now we are witnessing that indeed it's not only about the development of the Ukrainian people as a nation, but we also are now very clear with the path we are heading, and we are very confident in this path. And that is why also all the branches of government are coming together, and we are united as never before. As the Speaker of the Parliament, what can you tell us about the preparation of the new round of negotiations with the Russian Federation? I know that the negotiations are taking place. I know that it's not as easy as, as both sides would want them to be, but, well, finding compromise. Well, you know that a good compromise is when both sides are not satisfied. But well, it's about finding this fine line. I know for sure that there are certain matters we would never compromise on. These are the matters of territorial integrity, sovereignty or independence of our state. And I know that all the negotiations have the instructions that these cannot be the subject of the negotiations. And Ukraine is standing firm on this ground. We can talk about other things, but we have our red lines set. Can you give some forecast whether the parliament and the legislature will play some role in the resolution of this situation? Of course, I think the most complicated decisions in all the countries have been adopted by the parliament. But once again, all these decisions will be fully coordinated with these red lines I've mentioned. They will not be breached. The parliament, every member of parliament gave the oath where we clearly say that we will defend the rights and freedoms of Ukrainians and the state of Ukraine. We remembered our oath and will do everything possible to have peace on the one hand, but also so that this peace would be the victory of Ukraine. In 3 hours, President Zelensky will be speaking to the Parliament of Canada. Now, international reporters are listening to you. Do you have any words you would like to address to your colleagues, the parliamentarians in other countries of the world? Of course. I am on the line with essentially all the speakers of the parliaments from all over the world, and I really appreciate the initiative of the President of the European Parliament. She has organized the meeting with the speakers of the 27 parliaments of the European Union countries. Also, we have talked to the speakers of other parliaments. And to all the speakers, I want to address one and the same thought, and the video is interrupted.
With the Speaker of the Ukrainian Parliament. Again, we just listened to Ruslan Stefanchuk,